Hey, we are back. This is week 17, show 17, week 17, or 16. Yeah, let's get it started. It's 16. See, I'm jumping ahead, Stephen, already. I know we didn't record last week, but you guys wouldn't know because we release every week. So I guess we revealed one of our deep show secrets. So forget you heard that, but yeah, show 16. Maybe I need before we got on camera, I was telling Steven, again, all the deep dark secrets. I go, dude, I came home from work and I had to take a nap.
Yeah.
I had to take a nap. I didn't get nap time in today. So I think it's a combination of I don't think I I have jet lag until I guess you do, which
You did
I
two
was
weeks of
in.
traveling back and forth. You got jet
Yeah.
lag.
And so it probably caught up to me, right? And
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I also not really purposely, but I lowered my caffeine intake the last couple days. Um, so I guess that's the trade-off, right? So, what for people that jump up in the morning and throw down some, double, triple espressos, espresso, not
Yeah,
espresso,
don't say,
espresso.
yeah,
Yeah, espresso. Hey, you know what? Maybe they're onto something, or
I
maybe
mean,
they're on something. I don't know, but
they're definitely
yeah,
on
I guess
something.
a little bit of a jolt works. So I'll make it through. I'll make it
Yeah,
through.
I'll help you.
But on today's show, we want to introduce a new segment, and it's not Scott talking random thoughts. We do that every week, but we're going to introduce some music news. So Stephen will
Yeah,
kick off on that, and we'll
yeah, for
trade off
sure.
every week. Again, there's always a ton going on out there in music world, so we want to highlight some key features. Also, while predominantly we are all kind of metal and heavier stuff, we touched on rock, right? We've talked about a lot of that in early episodes. We do want to highlight, at least this week, some of the upcoming metal releases for the
Heck yeah.
remainder of 2024, and there's some
Yeah.
there's some good stuff coming out tomorrow. So I'll pick that up
Heck
in a
yeah.
couple of minutes and go through that. And then our topic of the day, topic of the evening, topic of the show: which band had the greatest impact on rock history? There's four of them. We selected Oasis, Nirvana, U2, or Bon Jovi. Those are the ones. Certainly, if you have an opinion on others, we want to hear it. Each week we ask you guys at the end of the show or during the show or now, share your comments, share your feedback. These are on Spotify. You can leave your comments, or else you can stream wherever you can stream music. We'll continue to add some other platforms for that, Stephen, in the coming
Yes.
weeks. There's always the schedules of how all that stuff gets approved and rolled out.
Yep.
Um, on YouTube, again, we've been producing. Is there really production? We just been putting out there. I guess that in the act of producing output, right? We've put shorts and videos. So each show we will put out on YouTube eventually, so that way you can watch it. And again, there you can comment, and we invite you to please do so. So again, if you have an opinion, a strong, in the middle, or a low. Hopefully no one on this show is watching or listening has any low opinions, but have an opinion and give us your feedback. For us, we're highlighting four bands that had an impact on rock history
Yeah.
between Oasis, Nirvana, U2, and Bon Jovi. And before we get into that, and before we get into music news, and we'll highlight this, Stephen, for sure. I think any of those you can make a huge argument for or against. Um, and again, we're sticking to those four. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say. But
Yeah.
before we do so, and maybe we'll drop in some music or some visual. I don't know if we need to call this Steven's music news or just talking music news, but here we go. Some music news.
All right. So, and we try to do our homework before each show, and I say try and
Try, yeah.
emphasizing that.
We attempt, yeah.
And when you can Google this week in music news and find all kinds of stuff. And one of them I found, and I don't know that I know, I'm sure I've seen this website, but it's called Metal Sucks, which is a great
Okay.
I think it's, to me, I'm not gonna compare it. I'll just keep my mouth shut because I don't want to get people pissed off and in trouble. But this was at Download Festival, I believe, which we know is in England. And I just want to read the first paragraph because it just tells you the whole thing, because this is what you expect when you're going to go to. I personally, I probably about 30 years ago, I'd probably do like an all day festival. I don't know that I could probably pull it off now. I'd probably get there for the last three bands.
Yeah. Yeah.
So take a moment and think of all the things you expect to experience at a major music festival like Download. You're a normal person, you probably expect things like good music, expensive food, maybe you get a little sunburnt, but most importantly, you expect to have a good time. What shouldn't you expect? And what's apparently some people experienced at this year's Download is horrific diarrhea and food poisoning. And what caught my eye
Wow.
was, it was a picture of a bunch of portalettes, which we go to gigs outdoors, that's all you have. They're not regular restrooms. And for
Yeah.
those of us that have been in those, they can get pretty vile. I know in the construction business I work in. But so according to BBC, organizers trying to determine what fans got sick eating some of the food available at last weekend's Download Festival. Apparently, two food stalls were shut down during the event because people started getting sick. If you're starting to get sick that fast after you eat something,
Hmm.
there's definitely something wrong. That's, which is
Right.
not good. And for those of us that have seen or been to festivals, it's just rows. And I've always wondered, for the guy that's like third row or second row back for an entire day. I mean, if you're not wearing a diaper, and depends, I don't know how you could pull that off, but that was
Yeah.
not a visual. But so they're doing like a full investigation as to what caused, and they're determining it to be food poisoning. And think about how many people are at Download Festival. You guys, I'm sure most of you've seen those. Uh, Probably 80,000 plus, maybe, at these things.
Yeah.
I might be pushing heavy on crowd, but yeah, that just was uh quite interesting. And then
So are they
yeah,
saying,
go
let's
ahead.
dig into this one a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Let's get into the if we can. So
For sure.
I get it. Yeah, I've been, and I agree with you. If I couldn't go to a festival, couldn't, probably would choose not to in this day and age, just with the overall, just the time and the environment, and you throw in that little tidbit right there. And maybe, I don't know, don't eat out of the food truck or the tented little, grill that's sitting there. But you talked about the porta johns, what do you call it?
What do you call them? Portalette or portacan?
Well, it's very well. See,
And,
look,
and in
you're
are we
educating
past our,
me. Yeah,
if we're past our 5 minutes, we just call them shitters.
shitters. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Shitters on wheels, maybe. But so, like, was there some contamination, that was being produced there that fed its way back to the food area, or what? I think I remember seeing something on the Woodstock '99 documentary, which is interesting to watch. There's a lot of details there because that was a show as well. Um, and I think there was some cross contamination between like water lines that led to like these drinking fountains where everybody could go just fill their bottles up with
Oh
water,
God.
and where it was actually somewhere with the sewage. So
Oh.
that in itself could give you a little bit of a mixed drink that you
Oh.
probably didn't realize was on the menu. So yeah, I think any of that is just not one. I will never use one. Well, ideally not. If now you try to look for the fancier ones, if that can be qualified as such. But there's some that are nicer for sure. But the old school, just blue, right? Mostly blue plastic, where if it's like Jackass or whatever, you see people go up and push them over when the guy's sitting in there. Yeah, you
That's
throw in
disgusting.
80,000 people, and let's just say half of those have had more than enough drinks. The other half are throwing down chili dogs, and you mix it up together, and yeah, it's
Or just imagine being the next guy in line, just kind of doing that dance, like, dude, hurry up.
mhm.
Um, not to bring up a vile subject, Isabel
Let's
and I,
not now. Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
yeah,
let's not.
Isabel and I had gone to went to Maui right before COVID and went up to Haleakala, which is the highest port in Maui. It's really cold up there, and you get to see the sunrise. Beautiful. And they're it's kind of a public park, but their restrooms were closed, so they had portalettes sitting out. So I was like, okay, I gotta, you gotta go do your thing.
Yeah,
And it was all right, let's move on.
yeah. I was gonna
So
say, we didn't even plan to, but we
no,
could
it's
probably do a
horrible.
whole show on porta potties, but
Let's
but we
not.
won't. So yeah, definitely in that, and maybe there's some news of the actual bands, but I think there was enough of a topic right there. You talk download, that was enough of a download of who knows
See, you took
whatever
you
they
took it
got.
out. You
Yeah,
took it out. Yeah, that
yeah.
was gonna be my
Sorry
my.
if I took
No,
that
it's all
line.
good.
Sorry, Stephen.
Yeah, nah. I figured you were gonna
So
go there. Go ahead.
yeah. So speaking of and now another type of download, you could download some music, right? So
Yeah,
this is we're going to highlight, and there's quite a few here, so I'm not going to read all of them, but I would say overall what you want to do. And I need to mute myself.
it happens.
There. I need to hit the cough button, and I did that. There's another one
That's
coming
what's
up.
nice about this microphone. You just there you go.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I need to. Again, we're going to highlight what Let's just do it. Let's do a quick little unpaid ad. What is so, guys? You're hearing this on Spotify and streaming, and you can see it on YouTube. And I know I stated that earlier, but what's your microphone? What brand is that? Because it's cool. It changes colors and it actually blends with our background. So it's
Yeah,
very, very appropriate.
and I didn't really plan that when I
Mhm.
saw the backdrop, which looks amazing. It's HyperX Gaming.
Okay.
These are more built for a Windows. I run off a Mac because of the drum set.
Yeah.
But and then the headphones, which work with it too. It's just kind of a fun little combination. It's more of a gaming thing.
Yeah.
But I saw an acquaintance of mine using this, and his was actually just red the whole time. This, I think, is a step up. But what was kind of cool that because I would see him and he would say, "Oh, sneeze or
Yeah.
burp or whatever, download." And it has this little button top that you can just quietly, without saying, "Oh, but well, the color went off." That means me that I'm muting it. But it's
Yeah.
a good microphone because it's got a bunch of settings on it. You can get a round sound. You can get, which anyhow. But it's
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
HyperX
Yeah.
Gaming. Yeah, good
HyperX
stuff.
Gaming, right?
HyperX
So,
Gaming.
maybe soon another one will appear right here. Then we can kind of have dueling microphones, right? So
Coloring microphones.
we'll see.
Yeah,
So
here we go.
awesome. No, that's cool. And again, it's good. It's good quality and it looks cool. So there we go.
And it
So
sounds good.
upcoming metal releases 24. So
Oh
tomorrow.
yeah.
So again, when you hear this, it might be a few weeks out. So I'm just not gonna say tomorrow or yesterday or right now, but June in the month of June
Yeah.
21st. So this one, Stephen, I know you've commented off air about this band, so I'm
Oh
really
yeah.
looking forward to hearing all
Me
of it.
too.
Kitty.
Me
So the
too.
band Kitty. The
Wow.
album is called Fire. Um, by the time you're listening to this, it would be out on June 21st. So, if you already listened to it, great, but go listen to it. Kitty, it's been
Oh,
about 9 years since they put anything out. I wouldn't say they necessarily got back together. I don't think they ever really left,
no.
but I remember them in a previous episode. We talked about a fateful evening in Chicago at the House of Blues, and I went after a work meeting and took probably 15, 16 coworkers, and we went into House of Blues and saw Kitty. So that was a good 20 years ago,
Wow.
easily. Maybe 20, maybe even more, right?
Wow.
Could be pushing 25 years. So whatever it was great to see. So I know they're going to be on the road. Looking forward when they make their way through town. It's worth seeing. So Kitty on June
Absolutely.
21st.
which
Cavalier
is,
Conspiracy.
yep.
Um, Schizophrenia. So this is a re-recording of a previous release. But same thing. Go back in the studio, redo it a little bit. I do not know the reason why they actually recorded. So maybe in a future episode we'll talk about it, or I'll just leave a comment when we do a video episode of this.
Maybe
But
it's like the Taylor Swift thing.
oh, I was thinking of that, where yeah, for whatever reason, the rights didn't transfer over. That's not uncommon in music. We own the masters, so go and re-record it. It's your version and you're good to go. So
And real,
Schizophrenia.
yeah, real quick,
Yeah.
sorry to interject.
No, no, please.
When you play the 80s thrash, you can hear how the recording levels have changed
Yeah.
drastically from then until now. So it might have been muddy, and they said, "Oh, you know what? We want to tweak it." It's like
Mhm.
movies that they re-release, or like Iron Maiden, they tweak them and re-release them with higher quality sound. So yeah,
Yeah.
just interjected.
100. No, you are absolutely right. Could be 100 reasons. So this is a
Anvil.
throwback, but yeah, Anvil. So that's on June
Mm-hmm.
28th, one and only. And they are one and only. Again, I remember a few years ago now watching that documentary on Anvil. And it was kind of sad a little bit,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
think it kind of points out what really happens in music is, there was, you go, God, throwback. There was talk years ago that they were going to be like this huge band, and Metallica and many bands, like as far as the admiration is across the board. But yeah, it just never happened. But since that documentary, they've had a resurgence. They've been in festivals, they've gone on the road, and again, they got a new record coming out.
Yeah.
Uh, some of these bands, so I'm saying some bands, and admittedly, I don't know who all these guys or
No,
gals, but I'm going to check them out. So this will be a good thing, and
me too.
and I think some of these will probably end up on an upcoming episode of talking possibly, and certainly
Mm-hmm.
on radio show that I do on Tuesday. I had to think about it. Tuesday on 99 WNRR. And also by this time, you can start listening to these episodes on the radio as well.
Sunday.
On the web, streaming everywhere in the world on 99 WNRR. Our show will, simulcast,
Kind of.
distributed. It'll be there Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern. So
That's cool
again,
that they're doing that.
one more vehicle, right? One more
Yeah,
area that you
that is
guys can
so
check it
cool.
out. So
Yeah.
uh, real quick, I'm going to take the whole episode talking about new releases, and I've only said four. Actually, three. Crystal Viper, The Silver Key. So this is a band that I don't know of. I have to
I don't
check
either.
out. Visions of Atlantis. I'll just read these. Mr. Big,
Oh,
10. Wow, Mr. Big's still going at it. I know I've seen them touring. There's been a lot of posts,
a-
and they've done like a whole world tour.
and
Think this is it. Yeah.
really quick on Mr. Big, the drummer is Nick D. Virgilio, who is like
Mm,
the drum guy for Sweetwater, who was the guy that I saw that sold me this wonderful, beautiful DWE kit.
got it.
So
Yeah.
and he's a stellar, and everybody knows who Billy Sheehan is. He's the bass player for
Yes.
that band. So anyhow, just all
No,
right,
that's
move
great.
on.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah.
Move on.
And
Testament.
he
What?
Yeah, so two Testaments. So these are
What?
re-releases. Again, to your point earlier, these are not re-recorded. So I think again, it's the mastering.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's some bonus tracks on there. I've also seen it, and I will pick this up because I love these records. Not the first two. I think well, Legacy, that was the first one, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Legacy and New Order, first and two. Wow, first and two, the first and second release. So those are coming out mid-July, July 12th. Um, I will pick those up. The vinyl editions I've seen on social media, they have a whole stable of new merchandise. So the logos,
Great
updated
band.
shirts, t-shirts, sweatshirts. You could probably get a koozie or a sweatband, right?
Koozie.
But those are cool. So those are definitely good records. Deep Purple, July
Still.
19th. Yeah, and
Still.
there's a video out. I don't know if you've seen the video yet. Um, but they sound good. They look good. mid 70s, beyond Ian Gillan, who we've mentioned a
Oh,
number of times on the show, just a phenomenal vocalist. Come on, that's our lifetime that he's been in a band singing, right? Think about that. Like that's
yeah.
how long he's been out there and he's still going. This is probably one of your favorites, Stephen, Orange Goblin, right? Science, not
How
fiction.
did you know?
Yeah.
How
Um,
did you know?
Category 7. So this is cool. And we've been exchanging
Oh,
posts on
yeah.
this. So this is John Bush. This is,
Oh,
and I'm not remembering, and I know you messaged me, but it's kind of a super group, right? But John Bush, Category 7. James Hetfield actually had a cool comment about them the other day
yeah.
saying, I heard it and this is great stuff. This is something you want to listen to.
And
So I've
actually,
heard,
Kerry King is a one-off in this band, FYI, from
okay,
Slayer.
okay. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. What I've heard so far, like, so that comes out July 26th. Looking forward to it. Ghost,
Whoa,
right here, right now, a soundtrack. Okay, July 26th.
that's a movie that's coming out apparently this weekend,
Okay,
FYI.
all right. Power Wolf, Wake Up the Wicked, and then real quick, I'll just hit on these in the preceding months, August, September, and then always the
Oh, Striper.
TBA. Yeah, we got Blind Guardian, Simone Simons. I've been seeing her a lot lately. I got to check and see what band she was in. And she was obviously a female vocalist
Vermilion.
for a band, and she putting out something solo.
Cool.
Nightwish, Flotsam and
Oh,
Jetsam. I am the
oh.
weapon in September. That's some good. Like I've heard that. Skid Row
Cool.
Live.
I wonder
Uh,
if that's with. I'm sorry. I mean, I
no,
hate when I cut you off. I wonder if that's with Lizzie Hale. Just out
yeah,
of
it could be.
curiosity.
Yeah, a lot of good conversation about Lizzie Hale, and
Oh,
she only did 4 shows, and I think she did her commitment, right? I think she did all 4 already, I believe, but I think she kind of squashed that she would do any more
yeah.
because again, Hailstorm, who she is the lead singer for, they're coming through Nashville with I Prevail, I believe. They're doing a
Yes.
co-headlining tour at the First Bank Amphitheater, which is built into this rock quarry. So maybe
Cool.
I've wanted to go there. It's been open about 2 years. Maybe this is the show I'll go to, you
Do
know.
it.
So we'll
Do it.
see. Again, yeah, Flotsam and Jetsam mentioned then. Body Count,
Yeah.
Merciless, they're on tour now. They're in Europe. So I
Hmm.
follow Ice-T on the socials. He's been posting and he's great because again, he doesn't need to give any shits and he hasn't for
No.
years. And he's, successful rapper, metal vocalist and Body Count
Yep.
for, what, 30 years now, probably,
Yep.
right?
Easily.
And he's been on, I forget which one of the SVUs, but he's been on that TV show for 25 years as well. So he still brings it, and he always has fun comments to make about if anyone questions his ability to be a singer or just be out there and be relevant. He took a selfie and then he flipped it over to the crowd. He goes, check this out, mother effers, and in front of like, 60, 70,000 people. So I just love his spirit. And
He's the
he's always
OG.
been that way. Yeah.
He's the OG.
Striper later this year. Um,
Interesting.
King Diamond, Merciful Fate,
How?
combination question mark, question mark.
Yeah.
So
What's going
I
on
think it's
there?
maybe both, right? Those releases, the King and Merciful Fate, I think those all come out now on Metal Blade. So we follow them closely. I play a lot of their tracks. There's always good, strong music coming out of Metal Blade, but we will see. Again, we'll continue to report out as this list becomes a little bit more refined. I'm sure
Pretty
there's
cool.
others. Those are the main highlights for sure.
Of course.
I think, pretty much, Stephen, what we want to do, we kind of teased again, which band had the greatest impact on rock history?
Yes.
Oasis, Nirvana, U2, or Bon Jovi? Hey,
Yes.
folks, guess what? All this was a big, gigantic tease because you're going to have to hear what we say on episode 17. So
Follow the carrot.
yeah, follow it along. Again, as always, we appreciate you guys tuning in, making the time. Leave your comments, follow us on the socials, Facebook, not
Please.
on Facebook, Instagram, and that's it, Instagram. We're one trick pony on that, but check us out anywhere you stream music, and we'll be back next week and talk about those 4 bands that we teased you for the last 25
And there
minutes.
will be Facebook.
Yeah, we'll add that. Yeah.
We'll
You
add that
know,
in.
maybe a Threads,
Yeah.
we'll see. Anyway, Stephen, as always, appreciate it.
Thank you,
And we'll
Scott.
be talking soon. So guys, thank you.
Cheers.
See ya.